Wednesday night here, June 11th, 2025, year of our Lord, and I am at a place that I was actually on the sidelines here as a senior in Utica High School in 2005, being a water boy for Utica Romeo football. And the last time I was here as a supporter was what people refer to as the Rumble in Romeo when Detroit City FC took on Michigan Stars, November 20th, 2021. Jared Koch behind the camera can confirm if I'm right or wrong on that. However, tonight, different story. It is match day 6 of USLW League. Detroit City FC taking on Union FC Macomb in a big matchup in the Great Lakes Division. A very hard-fought contest. Not the only matchup that took place in the division tonight. We'll go into that in details. First things first, let's talk about what took place on this field behind me that finished a little bit ago. In a very hard-fought contest. Goals on either side of the half sees Detroit City FC with a big 2-1 win on the road. Sophia Romine opened things up in the beginning. Ball clear out. Kate Childers feeds it out to Sophia Romine. Inside left moment. Buries it in. That's what the score was at halftime. In the second half, though, Union FC Macomb was getting into the match a little bit stronger at times. A turnover in the middle of the field sees a breakaway. Amelia Villarreal was the one to equalize for Union FC Macomb, and we thought it was going to be potentially honors even the way the matchup was shifting. However, a big moment near the end, Sophia Romine forces a corner, ball into the box, and Ella Kang, cool, calm, collected from close range, gets it in. Big win, 2-1 on the road. Why is it a big win? Other matchups around us tonight. Ann Arbor hosting Kalamazoo at Hallway Field in Ann Arbor. Kalamazoo doing us a giant favor. Big 1-0 away win. They play again in Kalamazoo next Wednesday, but as of right now, the points are even. Detroit City has the goal difference. Ann Arbor has the head-to-head. Midwest United, Toledo. Points were dropped in that matchup, too. Midwest United is Detroit City FC's next matchup on Wednesday, June 18th, and then back at home Saturday, June 21st, Detroit City FC Ann Arbor, match day 2 of the women's doubleheader. Jared, I'm going to give you the opportunity if you want to speak behind the camera. You were busy on the drums. You were busy on the stands. Give us what's like some of your take that you had on the match.
I think these away matches are awesome. I always love the atmosphere of these. We definitely make ourselves feel at home. Opposing team was definitely really great sports about it. We had some fun things to say. I managed to drum on beat, which is great. Always great when that happens.
Yeah.
No, it was great watching the women play and really assert some dominance on the field.
So, with that big win, level on points with Ann Arbor so far as it looks like in the Great Lakes Division. 4 matches left to go. Unbeaten now in 5. Winners in the last 4. Unfortunately, the clean sheet streak ends, but you know what? 3 points today. Job well done. Wednesday, June 18th at Midwest United next for the women. The men will be playing this coming Saturday, a few days from now, at Loudoun United, 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Let's just hope for good vibes. Like the match, the vibes that we saw here. Everybody that traveled here, get home safe. Everybody that checked out the stream, thanks for doing that. The best is still yet to come. For Garrett Comatz here, Jared Koch behind the camera, and everyone else checking us out, we go onward. All right. Our post-match coverage here from Barnabout Field in, some say Romeo, some say Washington Township. It's a short trip up the road for me, a half hour, even with construction. Unfortunately for our cameraman, Jared Koch, he's got an hour-plus ride back to the west side of Metro.
Thanks, my man.
Yeah, you crushed it. This is like
your commitment.
This is my version of Ann Arbor here. So not although. Coach Dave Dwaihy, you've had a absolutely wild day. First off, congratulations to University of Nugget, holding their state semifinal matchup over in Waterford. So, you had the honor of getting here at halftime for what was an eventful matchup here with Detroit City FC and Union FC Macomb. What was your takeaway? If you on the second half, I know Detroit first half comfortable with the goal by Sophia Romine. You can break down how that play looked, but from withstanding that pressure that Union FC Macomb started really taking in the second half, especially maybe with a little bit of fresher legs, were they able to withstand that and then get the run there?
Yeah, I only saw the second half, so I actually haven't yet seen Sophia's goal. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hoped she'd get one in front of all of her family and friends. She lives like 5 minutes away, so it was a nice home game for her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But, it sounded like the first half went really well. And from what I saw in the second half, we seemed to be really steady. And, I thought Mira came in and did an amazing job. Her athleticism, she had to lock down Ella Jablinski, who's like a super pacey winger, and thought she did a really nice job getting us through that phase of the game where maybe they were going to make something happen, and we were controlled. We had good possession. And then their goal came at a really unfortunate time because it was like, oh man, now we might have to bunker in, and you feel like you've dropped points already. But I thought the response was brilliant. Like we fought our way back in. Really nice sequence that led to the corner kick, and then the corner kick led to the goal. So I feel like good teams find a way when it's not looking like it's going to be their day. They find a way to turn things back in their favor. And I thought the women did that tonight, and it was a pleasure to watch from above. It was really neat to see from above the way we were able to, especially before they equalized. I just felt like we were doing such a nice job finding the open player, connecting passes, keeping ourselves in a good defensive shape. The goal definitely was a great individual effort from Amalia Villarreal. And sometimes other teams are going to do that to you. We've been fortunate that when that's happened so far this season, it hasn't always led to a goal, and tonight it did. So you got to tip your hat to her and that effort. And I thought she was well marked. Ella Karolak was right there with her. It was just a great strike. So
and
those things happen.
The ball to set her in was really nice too.
It was
very inch perfect. And it was one of those. Sean Spence, VJ Dzinski was by me earlier, and they were talking about that type of goal by Villarreal. Don't be surprised if she does that in about 4 or 5 years, but she's doing that on the national team.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an exceptional talent. It's an honor. I try to communicate to the women before each game against this team. Like, this is why you play in this league. You want to play a team like that where you're going toe to toe with players in your age group who are at the absolute pinnacle of U.S. soccer pyramid. And so to be able to keep her, for the most part, at bay and match up well with the team, that's something you got to feel really good about.
And I think also, too, some other things that I really wanted to get your take on. Cameron Evans coming on in the second half, I thought was driving in well. But obviously, Ella King, seeing the work that she's been doing, just like a constant ball of energy. Whether she's playing on the flank, whether she's playing inside, today in particular, for her to be rewarded with that goal late. And not only that, it was almost as if when the ball came in from Sophia at my angle, it's like time stood still for a second. Like she's like,
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I feel like it was perfect. That was very fitting. She's just done everything but score so far this season. I think she's been like a huge creative source for us, but also her work rate on both sides of the ball, it, can't be understated or can't be overstated. Sorry. Yeah. And I think, like Sophia Roman, we view her as this exceptionally talented attacking player, but the way she tracks back, the way she pressures, the way she does the dirty work, and the part of the field that she finds herself where she's often outnumbered by players, it gives us so much. And then she's so good at changing speed and breaking a line on her own and changing direction. She received the ball in traffic a few times tonight and just cut the ball back, and all of a sudden you have possession. I just thought, she really showed a multi-dimensional quality to her game tonight, and it was very deserved to get a goal because, like I said, there've been a lot of games this season where she's done everything but. And so it's nice to see her open her account. Hopefully it's the first of many.
And Alison LaPointe, being able to be calm, cool, and collected with all that pressure and that quality of attackers, as we talked about for Union FC Macomb, not doing anything rushed, nothing, making sure the move on that. Just how huge is that, especially for this squad right now going into this last stretch of the season?
Yeah, I think Alison's been our rock, and the thing about her that I think is so important, we've had this luxury in recent years with Gabby and other goalies. I feel like she has a kind of glue effect on the team. She's so happy and fun loving and kind, and the back line is immediately, she's earned their trust and respect, but she's just a good teammate. And when you have that kind of positivity coming from behind, and I think that's her greatest form of leadership is she's positive and she's kind and she's supportive, and you can tell there's a real understanding between her and the back line. They trust her, they play back to her, even when you're ooh, we're playing back, and she always is smart and she's safe. And she's come off her line really well. There are a couple times tonight where she had to intervene and just really made it just make situations that are looking promising for the other team, she snuffs them out. And it's to have a goalkeeper like that who's also a great locker room person. Yeah, we're really blessed.
So now we've talked about a lot of things that's happened here, and now we got, obviously there was some good news that happened around the division too. Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo, first of 2 matchups on consecutive Wednesdays. Kalamazoo takes the 3 points at Hallway. Midwest United dropping points at Toledo Villa. Your travel to Midwest is tied now. I believe it's level on points with Ann Arbor. And you have the better goal difference, but Ann Arbor with the head-to-head.
Yep.
You got them in 10 days. Anything different in particular as far as the mindset, or is the sole focus now Midwest next Wednesday?
Yeah, we can't look past that game, that's for sure. And, we're going to have to do a little rotation. Kate Childers is going to go back to school. It's a possibility she comes back for the Ann Arbor game, but she's getting called back to Minnesota. So we'll have to plug in some players who are, like next woman up. And hopefully we're going to see a good response from the players who have been waiting in the wings. We've got some real depth in every position. So I'm excited to see some players have an opportunity. It's been hard to change much because our group has been doing so well. And, unfortunately that means some really good players have had to either not get on at all or come in for minimal minutes at the end. And, it's a hard part of the coaching experience to make that decision that leads to them feeling disappointed or wanting more. But I think this is that point in the season where maybe we start to see the need to rotate a little more than we have and keep players fresh. And even though our full priority is on Wednesday, like if we can get through that game and keep some players a little fresh, or just, if some players aren't available Wednesday and they are Saturday, maybe we can use that to our advantage to have the strongest, freshest group possible for the interview.
And Midwest, especially with, you talked about how methodical Midwest, played when we did our recap on Saturday, and with their style of play, maybe that's like potential time in Kayla Addison.
Yeah, absolutely. She's ready. I mean, I know she's going to feel like tonight was another one that passed her by and she didn't get an opportunity to show. I spoke to her recently, she's ready when called upon. And I think, especially I think they often play 3 in the back. And so maybe there's a little bit of space for her to run in behind. And she's looked really good in training, and I'm excited for her to have that opportunity. I think she will.
So we got to leave you with one last thing here because it's midweek. You got to teach. I got to work. He's got to drive home. Shout out to Garret on the camera. Yeah. It's, for anyone that was here, anyone that checked it out, I think it was on Sports Engine Play, and anyone in general, what's the message you want to leave?
I don't say this enough. The coaching staff that I am surrounded by is amazing. Danny, Nate, those two are like, they're the two that I, am kind of like most involved with on a match day and making decisions and thinking things through. But Archer and Scotty and Adam and Matthew and Justin, those guys are all a huge part of the conversations when we're selecting the team. They're amazing at training. We're able to do so much more because we have a great ratio of players to coaches. And, man, I'm so blessed to have all those great soccer minds around me, but also like great people who also like help create a positive culture for the women. And, anytime I've had a nice exchange with a player who's kind of praising what we've got going on here, they always mention the coaches and they feel like the entire staff has just been like awesome. And so I'm super blessed to have such great people around me, and, they don't get nearly enough credit. And maybe now is an opportunity to give them a little bit. So thanks to my coaches.
5 unbeaten, 4 wins in a row, 10 goals scored, 1 goal allowed. The best is yet to come. Dave Dwaihy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.